Dear brothers and sisters, welcome back to another video of the Congregation Bible Study for this week. We're considering Lesson 24 entitled, They Broke Their Promise. And at this point, Jehovah said to Moses, "Come up to me on the mountain. I write my laws on stone tablets and give them to you." Moses obeyed Jehovah. He climbed the mountain and stayed there for 40 days and nights. He didn't eat or drink anything. While he was there, Jehovah wrote the 10 Commandments on 2 stone tablets and gave the tablets to Moses. This is very significant and important. After a while, the Israelites thought that Moses had left them. They got desperate, anxious, and they said to Aaron, "We want someone to lead us. Make a God for us." But wait a minute. Aaron, he was not a factory of gods. He was a servant of the Almighty. But his purpose was not making or creating gods. And Aaron said, "Give me your gold." And he melted the gold and made a statue of a calf. The people said, "This calf is our God who led us out of Egypt." And they began to worship the golden calf, and they had a celebration. Was that wrong? Definitely wrong. Totally wrong. In fact, because the people had promised, and they did something unthinkable. They began to worship the golden calf, and they had a celebration. Actually, they thought and they said that celebration was for Jehovah. And they did it. And Jehovah was very upset with this act of them, because they had promised to worship only Jehovah, but now they were breaking that promise. And Jehovah was observing the situation. He saw them, he saw what's going on, and he told Moses, "Go down to the people. They're worshiping a false god. They're disobeying me." Moses went down the mountain carrying the 2 tablets, and he was in shock observing their action. So, this is very relevant and teaches us that Jehovah is not accepting any worship. Many people prefer to worship Jehovah at their way, but Jehovah is not accepting any way of worship, just the way He approves, and we must respect it. So, as Moses came up close to the camp, he heard the people singing and crying out, and he saw them dancing and bowing down to the calf. Moses was very angry. He threw the 2 tablets to the ground, and they broke into pieces. In some way, this was an example about how they broke their promise, their vow to Jehovah, because he immediately destroyed this statue. And he asked Aaron, "How did the people convince you to do this terrible thing?" Aaron said, "Don't be angry. You know how these people are. They wanted a god, so I threw their gold into the fire, and this calf came out." That's his excuse. He shouldn't have done that. Moses went back up the mountain and pleaded with Jehovah to forgive the people. So we must teach our family, as we can see in this picture, the importance of assume our responsibility in every action we do. On the other hand, we learn the personal interest we must manifest to others. For example, now elders receive instructions how to proceed in the congregation when they have a meeting, an elders committee with someone who had committed a grave sin. Now their goal is help the people to reach repentance, not remove the person from the congregation. In some way, Moses was doing a similar action because he was pleaded with Jehovah to forgive the people. And Jehovah forgave those who were willing to obey him. We notice the importance to respect Moses and his leadership, and of course respect God's rules, principles, and of course our vows to Jehovah. On the other hand, we learn the importance of worshiping only Jehovah. He's a God who demands exclusive worshiping, exclusive devotion. He doesn't share his glory with anyone or anything. We learn the importance of keeping our word, especially when we promise something to Jehovah, like our dedication vow, like the vow when a couple is getting married, very important. And of course, in secular work and family matters, we must keep our word. We avoid excuse our sin, error, blame the people, and we must take the responsibility of our action. In other words, we must recognize our sin and avoid blaming others or looking for excuses to justify it. Okay, we teach our family the importance of our spiritual habits. Every week we have our midweek and weekend meeting, our family worship, our time for prayer, for Bible study. We must teach them the importance of respect. Our schedule as something sacred, something important. In that way, we avoid making our own golden calves, like hobbies, video games, social media, money, etc. And we must understand we're not saying that money is wrong, entertainment is wrong, a hobby is wrong, social media is wrong. We're not saying so. We just mean the importance to avoid putting something, anything, in the place that corresponds to Jehovah. So friends, through this lesson we learn what the Israelites did while Moses was away, how they broke their promise. Some of them broke their promise, and what Moses did when he came back, and some practical lessons we learn from this account. Thank you so much for tuning in. We hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and hope to see you in our next video.